I just want people to take a good look at this. Now, no offense, but I don't think someone who is even a fucking lobbyist, I don't think like that's enough to really for you to even get a fucking seven-figure salary because that's just fucking insane. I'm just being honest here. Like that like seriously, and people wonder where all that taxpayer money really going. Oh, this is why abandoning the bullshit of the corruption. You see, the people hold the power. You know, there's two things we can do here. What we all can do together. Either, well, we can overthrow the government and take and literally strip these assholes out of Congress who are corruptive. Because let me be on. Let me tell you the truth here, man. You're not gonna just be able to talk to these people and expect them to do the right thing. No, that's not going to happen. We can spread out as much truth as we can, which is a good thing, by the way, because more and more people are waking up to see just how fucked up the government really is, you know? But people need to wake up to the fact that government has literally invaded every aspect of life that we have. They even literally wormed their way into your homes with their invasive technology through social media. They've wormed their way all into your lives, everyone, myself included. No telling what they're doing with this knowledge, which is why I would hope parents, um, if you ever get your kid a cell phone, get your kid the type of one of those old cell phones that don't have the camera on both sides, or better yet, it's best just to get a phone without a camera. To be honest, that's your best bet right there. Because if you're not aware, who was that guy that was the head of Facebook? He and this is what spiked this up with people keeping tape over their camera lenses. It was a photograph of him having a laptop near him. The co-founder of Facebook had taped over his camera lenses of his computers. You didn't think people were spying on you? This stay tuned for the next video. You're gonna see. You're gonna see. You're gonna see. But I want people to understand. Now I could go into just go into a lot of this, but just by seeing it is already good enough. But this is just a cycle of corruption that's going on. The people who retire and become lobbyists have seven-figure salaries. I don't now. My question is, why the fuck are they making that much? Why? Like seriously, why? Like that is a lot of fucking money just to be a fucking representative of the damn people. That's like way too much. 50% of senators, 42% of representatives retire and become lobbyists with seven-figure salaries. Lobbyists spend 3.200 million annually influencing. This is just influencing Congress. That's how much money they're spending annually, and it could be even over that amount at any given time. What about all the people who are going hungry? What about all the people who you assholes only gave what, like 12 fucking $1,000 for it? Honestly, you put them out of work? Are you fucking serious? And my situation is not as bad as anybody else's because I mean I don't own a house, I don't have a mortgage, I don't have any of that stuff really to deal with in a car note, you know? But for the people who do have all of that, it's much worse for them because like a lot of that stuff is going to be stacking up. There's so many people who file for unemployment, and people need to understand, man, the system has failed. It has been failing for years. And this is just the literally example is when you become too addictive to the system. The people who have the controls of the settings of the system they're gonna fuck with it to where it benefits themselves and not the people of who it was originally constructed for. I want people to understand that. In order to break free from the control, you must abandon the system. You're gonna have to abandon the system. Because the more and more you depend on the system, the more and more the system is gonna have control over you. I tell you one thing though, the only thing that I've been seeing from all the research that I've done is that they have been slowly stripping away the common way of life from the people over the years. They did it in small segments. They did it in small segments so people wouldn't catch on. They weren't going to do all of this shit all at once. No. They did it in small segments. They don't want people making a motor to where they're not dependent on gasoline. 3 fucking things that I have found out just from doing research. You can't have they won't even let you have a fucking windmill to generate your own damn energy. You get fined and arrested for that. You can't even have a self-filter system to gather water from the sky, from the rainwater, to have your own self-sufficient water. No, it's gotta come from the pipes. You can't you can't even have an engine that runs off of carbon monoxide and not use gas. You want to know what they did to the guy who made an engine like that? And there were 2 people who did this, and they both came up missing. They made an engine that did not have to run off of gas. Don't they be raising gas prices like crazy? I tell you, man. There's so many good things that people could do. So many good things that would actually benefit not just the people but the world too. That would stop pollution, stop all of this bullshit. But you see, the people who are making a lot of money from this and who are too far involved now, they don't want the cycle of that shit to stop because they're too dependent on those funds. They're too dependent on that self-sustainability. They don't want that shit to stop. And they're going as far as paying people to take other people out who would, change that. They are so scared of change that they would actually plan an attack on you even when you're born. Right after you're born. That's how fucked up this is. That's how evil this organization is. But even with that said, let me tell you what's gonna happen. And I'm certain this is definitely gonna happen. Are people just gonna be overthrown like this? No. No. There's gonna be people who are gonna most likely die from their tyrannical bullshit. Of course. That's gonna happen. But it's not gonna this blindness of the people won't last for long, man. It's not. More and more people every day are waking up. They are so mad with trying to suppress. They are so desperate with suppressing evidence that they're even targeting other people's live streams now. They won't even let people live stream now just because of how many people are waking up to this bullshit. They can keep on doing what they're doing. They're going to keep doing what they're doing. But you want to know something? You think that people are not going to revolt against this? You think people are going to just remain quiet? No. No. Just you wait. I'm telling you, it's going to get bad. It's definitely going to get bad. And there's going to be a war. Now, I'm not condoning violence in any way. I'm just saying what my premonition is telling me here. What I'm certain of. And what I'm certain of is that they've already have gone so far, man. They have gone so far. With with a lot of corruption that's even happened out even from the past coming out to now too. So now they can't use schizophrenia. They can't use mentally ill as an excuse anymore. They can't. You want to know something even more crazy? They called people who were basically, and they said this on national television, They said people who were coming out speaking the truth were conspiracy theorists. Yet, you want to call people conspiracy theorists who are speaking the truth, right? But you don't want to have no tests done on 5G, and you go as far as to have it. You assholes go as far as to have it rolled out even before it was even signed to be legalized in Congress. Are you fucking serious? What about that? Why is it that you were so desperate to roll that shit out behind people's backs while you had them locked down in their houses? Why is it that they as soon as I upload a video of a doctor who was curing Morgellons and shit like that with an invention that he made that actually uses electrical magnetic components that gives off an electrical magnetic charge that kills this stuff off. He even did an open video. This was a doctor that did an open video about this, even for targeted individuals. Why is it that they attacked that video? If we're supposed to be conspiracy theorists, if we're supposed to be mentally ill, why is it that we have people, and you can look at the fucking comment section just to see that that is the truth, that they are attacking those videos and shit like that. They are doing that. And there are people who are hired to intentionally push this shit through, but they're idiots. They are fucking idiots, man. And I'm telling you, if they don't suffer from in this life, they're gonna suffer in the afterlife for their actions. They're gonna be in some serious trouble too, and there won't be no money to bail them out. There won't be no corruptive bullshit to literally hide them, to get them free from their actions. No, there won't be any. They're gonna have to deal with what they've done. They're gonna have to step up to what they've done and accept their punishment for all the pain they have caused so many different people. You see, there's a difference between a person who is being forcibly controlled to do something and a person who's just automatically willing to just do something. But you see, the people who are willingly following through with this corruption, I honestly can't believe how stupid they are. I honestly can't believe, because it's like, it's just so baffling on how corruptive their minds are. But you know what? When you put subliminal messaging through the television systems, when you have hypnotic hypnotic tones through music, it starts to make sense why they're as effed up as they are, because they were programmed that way. The enemy has programmed these individuals to do what they're doing. The message of the video that I had on my last that I made earlier, the last video that I made on this channel, I made that message to help people wake up to the truth of what the situation is. This could be, and I'm sorry to say it, I really am. I really wish it wasn't like this. I really do. I truly do. But what I mean by this is that could be anyone from a close friend, that could be from a family member. People need to understand that these people who have been so far brainwashed and programmed, it has been happening for so long that I don't know if they can even snap out of it. I don't know. I know us target individuals, from what I've heard from other target individuals, that we snapped out of it at our 30s, right? But here's the issue, though. Like, we are the type who break free from a lot of the systematical peer pressure thing. I believe not all of us are broken from that, you know? And as a result, we maintain that resistance as we get older, and to the point to where we start to wake up even more and more as we get older. It's not to say we're not still affected by remote manipulation, by remote neural monitor, none of that. No, we're still affected by it, but it's just that we have more of a resistance to it than we did prior. Man, though, like this whole thing, man, it's crazy. It really is crazy. Let me tell you something. The only thing that I've learned that the only thing that matters from these individuals who have been brainwashed, the only thing that they want most of all, next to money and shit like that, right, is attention. Money and attention. That's it. That is it. They just want to be able to you know, make money, and then they want to be able to have all that attention. Why do you think some gang stalkers get pissed off when you don't pay them any attention? You want to know why? Because if you don't pay them no attention, they don't get paid, and they don't get the attention from you. So you basically just cut the whole thing off. They can't get paid unless they got your attention. They're paying them to do something to get your attention. If it doesn't get your attention, I really hope people understand this. What I'm getting at, if it doesn't get your attention, basically, it doesn't work. If it doesn't work, why the fuck would they have to pay them? Um, the gang stalkers can definitely hear what I'm saying right now, as far as the infiltrators and all that stuff. They can definitely hear every word that I'm saying. Do they care? They're gonna say that they don't. I'm quite certain of that. But you see, that's not important. It's not. Remember these words. Remember them clearly. What a person says out of their mouth is one language, but what is being projected in the brain, what's being said in the brain and the mind, that's a whole nother language. Why do you think they're so desperate to get in, infiltrate your mind so much? Because they know this. They know the mind speaks an entirely different language than the mouth. A person can easily tell somebody the exact opposite of how they feel. Quite easily. But you see, the thought of that is still stuck on them like super glue. How do you think they're gonna end up looking when they gotta face against the system that abandons them when it no longer needs them, and the people who they've tormented for years, who they were paid to torment, to stalk, to steal from, to harass? What do you think they're gonna do in a scenario like that? Let me tell you what they're gonna do. If they can't fuck with us, and trust me, it's not gonna happen because we're not gonna even be able to trust them. That's what I want people to understand. These people are so gullible, so corruptive that they will just do some of the most deplorable shit out of desperation. And they don't care who gets destroyed as a result. This is something that is not going to change due to the conditioning that they were submitted under to. And it's all because they've given away their true self. When you lose that true self of yours, when that is gone, you can't come back from that, because you only learn to live the lie that was influenced onto you. I think the only reason why I even snapped out of my situation, it's because I was able to break. I had not really the privilege, but the luck of actually being away from those assholes for so long. And the more and more I had time to myself, the more and more I had time to reflect. Over time, I started to see what was really going on, right? And as I started to notice that, it got to a point to where I just abandoned both the music and all the shit, because I started to understand what this whole thing was. When I listened to back when I was still listening to rap, and this was commercialized rap, what I was hearing was basically a rapper talking trash to the listener. The fact that people couldn't put that together showed me that they were not in the right mind. And The reason why I say this is because, well, in most of the lyrics, they're saying the exact same thing they say in the N word, of which is, I mean, that's just disrespectful. Okay, I mean, come on, man. That's not a cool thing to say. Let's just be honest here. That's not a cool thing to say. And this was the opposition that wanted to make it into a way to where it's okay for us to just, diss our own ancestors like that. It was because of them fighting that we're actually, that most of us black folks are free right now. I'm not finna disrespect my elders like that, man. And no, neither should anybody else. There are gonna be people who disagree with me with the influence of the N word, but you need to understand that whole thing, that whole process of that word comes from the influence of ignorance, lack of knowledge on how that's disrespectful. Basically, that's where that's coming from. And if people really would research on how people who were called that back in the slavery trade days, man, people were tortured, they were fucking raped, they were slaughtered, all kinds of stuff, man. It was really bad. It was really bad back then. And I believe that even back then there were people who were being brainwashed even then into thinking, oh no, this is the new norm. But people fought and broke free from that tyrannical bullshit. They did it then. They did it with civil wars. If they broke free from this tyrannical bullshit and they kicked that ass, then you better fucking believe that we can do the same. We didn't start this war. We didn't ask these satanic cultist assholes to do the shit that they've been doing. A lot of us were tricked. A lot of us were lied to. They promised saying, "Well, we will take care of you." They'll promise they're gonna take care of you, all right. But understand that the word "taking care of you" doesn't always mean a good thing. I've learned that and I've said this before, but there's a lot of subliminal messaging and a lot of rap and a lot of that commercialized rap music. And people want to know like why so many black folks are as violent as they are. Just listen. I mean, look at the music they're listening to, dude. Look at the way that they're living their lifestyle. Look at the conditions they're put under. You know. And here's the thing, though. I'm not pointing a finger at them. No, I'm pointing a finger at the oppressor here, because drugs are being sold throughout the streets, right? But these people who are selling this stuff, they're not the ones who own the planes that are shipping that stuff back here. They're not the ones who own the boats that are shipping that stuff back here. They're not the ones who are doing that. You want to stop that shit? You go after the assholes who are controlling the shipments. You go after the assholes who are controlling them planes that's sending that shit here. You do that, you fucking everybody gonna be clean, because eventually the shit that they've been using that they're hiding is gonna run out. You need to exterminate the corruption from its source in order for it to stop. Unless you do that, crime is just gonna be the same as it ever was until that is done. As far as the electronic torture, you gotta get away. You gotta get rid of the source of what's causing that to happen in the first place. We know that these assholes are out there, doing this shit, but who the fuck is controlling them, forcing them to do what they're doing? You need to find them. And don't think for a second that these assholes have not been seen by people. They have. There are people who know who the fuck they are. There are people who have seen their face. There are people who have seen where they come from, where they live at. There have people who have seen this shit. Remember how freaking George Bush had a picture of Barack Obama? Or not Barack Obama, but Osama bin Laden in his house? You gotta remember, there are people who see and who have been around this shit. You find them. You find a culprit, you kick that culprit's ass, take them out of commission, this shit ends. Now for these gang stalkers, I just gotta say, man, after this shit blows over and people do start to fight back completely to where they're just immediately done with the payoffs, they're done with all of this shit. That's what it's gonna have to take. People are just throwing away money, throwing it in the garbage where it belongs because honestly, it's a corruptive currency, man. It's a corruptive currency to just to use it that they use as an excuse to strip certain things away and to give you a false sense of security and sustainability. The system that has been, providing for you is the same system that has been taking things away from you. It has been causing all these unnecessary problems. I would fucking rather go out, build my own fucking home without even have to worry about no fucking rent, without having to worry about the no fucking water no fucking water bill, no fucking electric bill. I would rather go and harness my own fucking energy, go out there and just harness my own shit and then just live off the land. Grow my own fucking food. Fuck the grocery store. But a lot of people are not don't have the mindset and the patience to really do that. And I know they don't have the patience because I've witnessed it. Long time ago, I used to work in the Walmart. Right. This was my first day. They asked me to go into the back of the grocery store to clean up the storage facility. There was another temp alongside me. You want to know what he did? He took one look at that shit and he just walked off. Went as far as to sign an application to get a job. You wouldn't have signed an application to get a job if you didn't need the job. I spent nearly the damn near the whole day, half the whole fucking day cleaning that stuff up, and I did a damn good job of it. I didn't even give a fuck about the time. I just saw it as something that needed to be done, and I figured the sooner I get done, the sooner I don't even have to worry about nobody bitching at me. The sooner I could just be done with it. The sooner I could just move on from it. But at the same time, if I stayed the pace with just dealing with that, since it was my first day, that could just be it, and I could just be done with the entire day. That's how I looked at it. Don't people look at time nowadays as a burden and not as an asset? And the only time they ever do look at it as an asset is when they're gonna how much time they're getting paid for. That's still a dependency of the system. Man, living off the land, you gotta understand. You can go out whenever the fuck you want. You can sleep for as long as you want. This as long as you make sure that yourself is prepared, and whatever you don't do will just be a consequence to yourself of your own actions, not of some bullshit coming out of the blue. Living off the fucking grid allows you to be able to grow the food that you fucking want to grow. It allows you to have your own fucking pets on your lawn, on your property, that you don't have to pay no stupid ass taxes for. You don't have to worry about no stupid ass regulations, no stupid ass fucking licenses or none of this crap. No. You want to go out and ride yourself a moped, you go out and fucking ride a moped. You want to go and ride a motorcycle, you go ride a motorcycle. You want to go ride a fucking horse, you go ahead and ride a fucking horse. Not just certain times. No, whenever the fuck you want. Not when someone's telling you when you can, but when you want to. Understand the difference between that and living off the system. Because if you start living off the system, you got all these rules and regulations. You got to get all these unnecessary licenses and certificates. And did you know, and a lot of people that may not know, but a lot of this stuff is unnecessary bullshit. And the whole The whole point of even having guns, man. I don't think people had to. How long ago was it when people had to start getting, permits for that shit? Because I don't think people had to do that. I don't. It wasn't until like later on when they signed that up. But back into but the old days, the old Western days, how they were talking about like people just you just rolled the fuck into town, had the old the whole Smith and Wesson pistol strapped down the side of their hip right there. They rolled into town with that motherfucker. And they rolled out of town without with it as well. Did they have to show a permit for the shit that they had? I don't think so. They rode their horses in the middle of town. I don't think they had to have a fucking permit for the horse. I don't think they had to fucking have a license for the horse. No. That was freedom. Having to have all of this shit just to do certain things. Living off the grid, man, you do whatever the fuck you want to do. But when you live off a system, you allow yourself to be victimized, to be converted into what that system wants you to be. Look at how much look at all that they have done. Subliminal messaging and hypnotic lights going through your TV screen. Fucking corruptive psyops every fucking where you look at. Police brutality. Corruptive officials. Corruptive Congress. Corruption everywhere. And anything, you gotta understand, and I said this before they even fucking sent out the stimulus. Any fucking good thing they do for the people is gonna be even better for them. When they do something good for the people, it's gonna be mainly to benefit themselves. So you gotta understand that benefit of that goodness is mostly benefiting them and not the people. So who do you think really got the better end of the deal with this stimulus shit? They did, not the people, them. Single individuals getting unnecessary amounts of fucking money, unnecessary large amounts of money when that shit got signed over. You got a single asshole getting like 30 to 45 million fucking dollars. When a family house, and these assholes are already fucking billion and trillionaires, all fucking ready. They already have a large amounts of fucking money, and they're still trying to get more. And more, and more, and more, and they're not gonna fucking stop. So many people are suffering today, man. Not just this year, but last year. And these assholes who are in support of this shit, you gotta understand, they are too far gone. They are comfortable with people being made homeless. They are comfortable with people being beaten to death, being killed. Have you not seen these assholes cheering out World Star when a fight breaks out? That's the kind of mindset they have. They love it when people fight. They love it when two people get into a fight. They love it when people I've actually seen a video of a guy literally cheering on a dude for killing a cop. No joke. He actually was doing that. He had shot the cop and took off. This guy was a criminal. All right? Even more so, I'm not saying that there aren't corruptive cops, but you got to remember there are non-corruptive cops as well. Don't believe that the entire police force is corruptive, because it's not. There are some people being forced, not having much of a choice due to, they're threatening them to take their job away, threatening to cut their pay, threatening to do any kinds of stuff, even all sorts of stuff, man. So I know there are good cops out there, as well as there are bad cops. And that's what people need to understand. There's a certain collective of people who are comfortable with the violence, who are comfortable with the killing, who are comfortable with hurting people, stealing from people, shattering lives, breaking apart families, and the list goes on and on. When people abandon money, such as the American dollar and all that stuff, You strip the power from that currency. Did you know that? You want to know why they are so desperate for money the way that they are? What good is money when you don't have people to push those machines around? What good is money when you don't have people working in the manufacturing areas to make the shit that stuff is costing to make? What good is it when you don't have people, shipping this stuff around? What good is it when you have people who are not working on the servers that allow a lot of these devices to, stay upkeep, um, of the current updates and stuff like that. People have to develop updates. So people are working to make those updates. What happens when you don't have people, you know, even work, not even giving a fuck about the dollar anymore? I tell you what happens. The people who are abusing their power lose that power. All that amounts of cash that they've built up becomes worthless. It's only as valuable as people are putting their valuable time into developing the things of which it is paying to get. You take the people go away, the power, the whole influence of that dollar goes away, and it becomes worthless. So all that expensive shit that they bought, it won't mean jack shit because they're not really going to be able to get anything else. They're not going to be able to support the sustainability of living because there won't be people working for farms for their shit. There'll be people working for farms for themselves, for their own, for not just themselves, but their families. When they fucking go out and farm, they fucking farm for their families. When they go out there and harvest, they harvest for the self-sustainability of their fucking family. When they go out there and they forage for the self-sustainability of their family, not for this covert bullshitting ass government that has lied to you for years. No, you do it for your family. When it comes to trade deals, you trade with your neighbors for stuff that you don't have, for stuff that you need, and stuff that they need. And it is all done in a fair, sustainable way. Not through exchange of money, no, through exchange of actual collateral items. Fuck the dollar. Fuck the system. Because it's not doing anybody any shred of good if all they're going to do is be selfish and kill off people who would dare rise up against their bullshit. And yes, they have been doing that for years. This is MM. I hope everybody's having a wonderful evening, minus the targeting, minus the lies and the deceitful bullshit and the tyranny that's been happening over the past few weeks. I'm over and out.